Hi, I'm Natalie, and you're watching Free Art Online Academy News. Today we are presenting, or to be more precise, pitching in a different way, one of Andy Digger's various synopsises and treatments, who is looking for investors, producers, and sponsors for the realization of the following project. Andy Digger is a Swiss-Iranian screenwriter, photographer, and filmmaker. He says in his plot on YouTube and Plotagon about his philosophy, "I'm not an artist, but I'm the midwife of art. According to the motto, the essence of my past is my future's goal." He is the founder and initiator of Free Art Online Academy, a non-profit project under construction with the motto L'art pour l'art, that means art for art's sake. All his works are based between creativity in arts and visions in science. For more information or to download his project as a PDF, please contact www.facebook.com/freeartonlineacademy or via email on freeartonlineacademy@gmail.com. Project number 3. Treatment by Andy Digger. Title: A Desert in the Wood. EU FATA MORGANA Democracy. Genre: TV series. Ramin Irani, 34, is an Iranian living in exile in Germany. Has a history. Childhood. When he was a child, between 4 and 8 years old, he had a secret. Every night before he fell asleep, he was thinking of all persons he knew and who came to his mind, and he prayed for them so they would not die, as he felt responsible when a person he knew died for unknown reasons, and he would be responsible for his or her death, as this person had not been included in his prayers. That's why every evening he laid awake until he had included in his prayers and thoughts everybody he knew. Teenager. He was an admirer of Europe because of its democracy and legal responsibility. He held up Europe as an example. When he was 18, he came to Europe, integrating very fast into the European society and learning very quickly the German language. At 23 years old, he meets his wife Sabine, 26, and gets married. When Ramin is 24 years old, he becomes a victim of a plot conducted against him by 2 attorneys, Sebastian Knoll, 43, and Peter Haag, 45, due to the fact that Ramin's wife is owner of an apartment according to land register and he's not. Attorney Sebastian Knoll, besides his field of activity as a lawyer, has an incompatible second occupation, real estate agent with license and house management. He takes over the house management of Sabine's apartment, sowing the seeds of discord between the owners of the other apartments. Sebastian Knoll doesn't only act as a house manager, but as a private lawyer and real estate agent together with his partner Peter Haag, who is taking over at court the case of the conducted plot representing the other owners of the building. They earn easy money. Besides this fact, their intention is to achieve authorization for collecting to put up the apartment for compulsory auction. Coincidentally, Sebastian Knoll's partner, Peter Haag, is chairman of the board of the BBN Bank in Germany, which is holding a large real estate department, advertising as follows: "Imagine you are selling your home and everything is running perfectly." Objective of both attorneys: with expropriation of the real estate owners in Germany and money-making achieve personal gain. Ramin has a hard time to go through, as he cracks the code behind the cleverness of their mafia-type methods. Due to his investigations, he finds a similarity to the trigger mechanism of the global financial crisis, respectively the subprime crisis in 2007, which ultimately led to the bubble in housing prices, where many people lost their property and ended up in poverty and became homeless. He learned that, at the beginning, when signing contracts with cheap mortgages, due to increasing interest, they could not be paid back. Nevertheless, as it was obvious that they could not be paid back in case of raising interest rates, banks were in a position to become the owners of the properties, respectively real estates. For both attorneys, Sebastian Knoll and Peter Haag, using their legal knowledge in terms of a shyster lawyer and not as a legal representative, loopholes in the Condominium Act law, in civil code and criminal law provide many directionary powers. In case of a criminal act in the area of condominium law, this is not dealt with, but has to be prosecuted separately under criminal law. Lawyer's code. Ramin is experiencing himself in tacit agreements of lawyers. For example, they deal together without informing the client. They do not take over a case against another lawyer and do not even submit existing evidence if it will incriminate the lawyer. With submissions of a verdict against Ramin, which is a result of a declarations in lieu of an oath and lies of the people who were behind the plot, This verdict is used by the two attorneys in a legal proceeding which his wife Sabine had to initiate against the other owners of the condominium, and the judge is influenced by this verdict and does not accept Ramin as a witness. Ramin even gets kicked out of the courtroom, not being allowed to talk when he requests a hearing. Ramin doesn't fit into the concept, as his testimony would have incriminated the attorney and the owners, and the verdict against his wife had been prepared before, ready for pronouncement. Consequently, his wife Sabine loses several court cases, including a legal proceeding at the Federal Constitution Court, highest court of justice in Germany. These painful experiences lead to the fact that Ramin is losing his belief in democracy. In contrast to his good nature in his childhood when praying for others, Ramin now is thinking about killing the responsible attorneys, owners, and judges. Ramin, when living in Iran, was admiring European democracy and becomes a victim of a plot in Europe orchestrated by lawyers, their tacit and clandestinely made agreements with judges, German justice mafia, mopping up operation of court records by judges and prosecuting attorneys, showing their mightiness and arrogance in courtrooms without cameras, and breach of data protection, resulting in his conviction that, in fact, some judges who through their unfair and prejudiced judgments are the real killers, as they can literally kill people without weapons and bring someone on the brink of ruin, and nobody can make them responsible. That there is existing an unknown and so far not scientifically investigated syndrome, a specific mental disease existing only among persons with legal careers, as above all, judges, lawyers, judicial officers. This disease is shown by their practice of power, self-confident manner, and to some judges, passing judgments on people gives them quite a thrill. Before carrying out his plan to kill the judges, lawyers, and opponents, he tries to contact the most famous European criminal psychologist and profiler of serial killers, because he is convinced that he himself would be the fourth person the criminal psychologist does not know of so far. This criminal psychologist always is on TV, and his book claims he only would be engaged when it's too late, and during his career, the criminal psychologist got to know only 3 persons who had exceptional talent in being able to foresee human behavior, and the most effective intellectual weapon, for example, using speech and words as a weapon, and anticipate situations and actions of human beings, 2 famous killers and William Shakespeare. To get to know, in the end, the needs of other people in order to better manipulate and guide them. Their talent was to be able to read the mind of others and to anticipate their thoughts. He wants to get to know if the criminal psychologist would be capable to prevent him from his plan. After the discussions with the criminal psychologist, he will not realize his plan because he is convinced that it would be the wrong way. Not because the criminal psychologist did persuade him, but by his own conviction crucial experiences. The contact and discussions with the criminal psychologist happened only in his mind. Thank you for watching.